We'll see how this one goes. How are you feeling?
Good.
Good. How's the sound quality, everybody?
Test, test, sound quality.
If it's sounding alright, please give us a like. I think she's actually really nervous.
Oh gosh, am I?
Can we have a round of applause for Virginia? Thank you.
You guys are so
Hey
sweet.
folks! Thank you for welcome back to this week's Coffee with Kyan. And I have Virginia Dyer with me today. Do you want to tell everybody about yourself first?
Hi everybody, I'm Virginia Dyer, Cerner specialist here at IT Works, and this is officially my 1 year here at IT Works.
Woo! Congratulations!
Yeah, thank you,
Wow.
thank you.
1 year.
One year.
What a journey.
I know, it really has been. Or at least I should clarify for accuracy's sake, it's actually the 1 year since I was offered the job and accepted.
Because you actually came to us before we were at this address, right?
I did, yes.
How long have you actually known IT Works?
So I've known IT Works now for 3 years, so it's been a while. I met Gary when I was working at a different company called Buckhead Business Consulting, where I was doing door-to-door sales right to Gary's front steps, and met him at our old office and just pestered him enough to where he thought I should join IT Works.
That's crazy. I remember Gary told me that, well, this is a venture. Virginia's going to tell her part of the story. How her information was passed on to me was that, hey, this lady that came to me a couple years ago, she was still in college, but I told her that she had the personality for recruitment. You should give her a call and see that this is still something what she wants to do. And I was like, okay, so she just graduated, and then, okay, I'll give her a call. And turned into one of my talent acquisition calls, and then turned into this lady we weren't so sure from the beginning.
I know it. Yeah, I was really nervous about doing recruiting.
So, what was your perspective at that time about this whole thing?
It definitely seemed like it was going to be something challenging when I first came on board, but that's really, that's what I wanted. I wanted something that, wasn't just pushing paper or, just day-to-day tasks. It was something that was going to be a bigger part of, my life. And it definitely has been. It's something that I take home with me and I talk about on a daily basis, and it's really changed my perspective on everything. So I love it. I wouldn't go back now.
It's coming with no recruitment background, but obviously she's done a lot of. I really consider this a really hard sell because I've only done AT&T sales for 3 days and determined that that's not for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I find a lot of similarities in this, and just having that tenacity to keep going that I got from door-to-door sales.
So I know you have that level of perseverance, that level of persistence, especially that, we all know that you're like this ray of sunshine all day long. It's not just like 8 to 5. It's like really all day long right there in your face.
I try.
That's a true talent there. I think right from the beginning, and also her personality is so bubbly. And then, but we sometimes get turned down by clients thinking that we are either too young or too immature or too not quite sure about how to put our fingers on this and all that. But obviously, I think that through the sales cycle, we all learn our share of as our career progress and so on.
Exactly. You learn what works for you and what doesn't, and just trial and error and figuring out what really impresses people. And you're different than everybody else, and especially in recruiting, it's finding what makes you unique and what's going to make you stand out to them. And I think that that's something that you guys tried to beat out of me, but I kept it, and I feel like it really works now.
Not literally, please, not literally.
No, definitely not.
So, tell us about the perseverance part, about you wanting to do something and you actually mean to do it and actually making it happen.
Yeah, I feel like the one thing that comes to mind is just that commitment to anything that I want to do. So, just coming out of my first job, I kept that for 7 years at Hobby Lobby, and then, long time, especially for a first job that anybody gets. And so I knew that when I came in, and when I called Gary the very first time, from meeting him 2 years ago, he said, if you ever want a career change and you want to invest yourself in something that's going to mean the world to you, give me a call. And so I was in a point in my life when I said, I want this life-changing event to happen, and I'm going to make it happen. So that's why I called, and it really has been everything that I thought it would be and what he promised from day one.
Wow. So what was the promise to you from day one?
He did say that it was going to be, I will never forget this. He said, are you going to be okay with not being able to hang out with your girlfriends? When you go out on, on the weekends, sometimes you might have a call that you have to take on Friday night, and, it's walking away from 200K. And, that's a 200K quarter or whatever goal you're trying to set for yourself. And I said, that's something that I want to push myself to achieve and know that I can say, this is something that I can do. I know it's going to be difficult, and I know that not a lot of people succeed, and not a lot of people have that tenacity to keep going when doors are shut in your face, or certain roadblocks come up, and that's what makes it so wonderful for me. And those obstacles that come up that are out of nowhere, and you can't predict it sometimes, and sometimes you just say, oh man, I should have known that was going to happen, or what have you. But it's more rewarding than anything else I can imagine, honestly.
Wow. It's funny you talked about the life-changing event. What was it about staffing or recruiting that was something you wanted to go to? Because there are many different ventures for sales. You can sell many other things, including software, including the actual physical, tangible products. What about recruitment that was interesting to you?
What was interesting to me was it wasn't just selling a product that I believed in. It was being able to sell an idea of, both on the candidate side and the client side of, this is going to be the best fit for you. And it was almost relationship building, as Gary kind of told me, is, making relationships come together and making them see that this is what's going to be best for them. And a lot of times, that's moving across country, or, clients going out of their budget that they really had set firm on, and realizing that this is going to be the best fit for them. It's beyond sales of, let's go back to the sling and paper, back in my office days.
The office supplies.
Office supplies. Yeah, it's not just finding somebody who happens to have the time to sit next to you and go over some deals that you might have going on. It's making them see that this is going to be the best fit for them, whether that be on the candidate side or the client side.
I see.
Yeah.
So, talking about travel, because I know that you were born and raised not too far from here, right?
Not born. No, I was actually born in California. I've lived in, about 7 different states now. So I've moved all over. But I did graduate high school here in Georgia, and I did graduate college here in Georgia. So I do consider myself a peach. So yeah, no, but that was actually back in, let's see here. I graduated high school in 2010. Cal High School, go Longhorns, and I'm actually wearing their shirt, but under the business attire, of course. So yeah, that was high school, and then I graduated college 2015 at KSU, so go Owls. And after that, I took an adventure out to Maine. I wanted to see more of the world. I've lived in so many different states, but I actually never went to New England. So I wanted to just go up there and go on an adventure. So I went to be an office manager up there. Spent 6 months there, came back. Obviously got a job at the Weather Channel, as you know. Stayed there for about 6 months, and then went back up to Maine because I had such a good time. And then came back, and that's when I called Gary. Straight from there.
Wow, what's next? Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about moving around the country. There's it's a lot about people. It's about a lot about relationships. A lot about building that long-lasting something that's meaningful to you specifically.
Right.
What would you say have been what have been some of the influential figures, I think, that in your development?
I would say that, and that pertains a lot to why I really like what I do here. So a lot of it's building those relationships where you have to have trust with people, and you have to really cultivate something out of nothing. So moving every 2 years when I was growing up and going into new schools, it wasn't about finding necessarily influential figures. It was about finding friends. It was somebody to connect with very quickly, because a lot of the times I moved in the middle of the school year. So those relationships have already been established.
It's hard for that continuity.
Yeah,
to
so
a degree.
exactly, and so I feel like that kind of applies to what I do now, which is, I'm calling these people right in the middle of their workday, and they're probably in the middle of a project or what have you, and I have to make sure that they have faith in, I want to do what's best for us, not just you, not just me. I'm not selfish. I want to cultivate this relationship and do what's best for everybody. Yeah. So I feel like, it wasn't necessarily finding the most influential people to look up to. It was just finding people to connect with and build my own group every single 2 years, and finding that close group of connections that I can count on.
make sense and proceed. So, who has been the most influential person in your life so far?
I would honestly, and gosh, I don't know if he's going to be watching right now. Maybe he's new to Facebook. It's my dad. My dad's done so much for me, and I know that it was hard for him to pick his two girls up and move us all the time.
You and your sisters are 10 years apart.
10 years apart, yeah. So she's 10 years older than me, and so I know it was definitely hard on her because she actually got moved around a lot more in her senior years, whereas I was younger. But he always had that knack of just picking up and that go-getter attitude of that commitment. It's funny, he's never missed a day of work in his life that we can ever recall. And even if he's sick, he goes in, and it's that really kind of stuck with me. Of if you're going to say you're going to do something, you need to do it, and consistency again, and commitment to your word. And I've never seen anybody in my life stick to that more than I've seen him do it.
I think it really shows that you're somebody that we always see that we can count on you. I think for the sake of it, when you say something, you're going to do something, you grew to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's a level of commitment. I don't want to put it in a generation though, because I think that's unfair to a lot of people. But you're very true to who you are, and I've always appreciated that of you. And then, let alone like just that ray of sunshine, and she's so consistent. Yeah.
Always. I mean, you don't want to assume a day is going to be bad just by treating it as such. I always feel like if you have a positive attitude and outlook on everything, then that's what's going to get you over any of those tough days that you might have. And so that's why it's consistently just being vibrant and taking all the good, even with the bad, and recognizing and being thankful for the good things that happen, because they happen every day.
Is that the motivation that's triggering behind all this?
Absolutely. I feel that it's, I think there's a meme that's always saying, your vibes are what people are, are attracted to.
Yeah.
And so I always find that, I very rarely find people who are in a terrible day that I can't
deal with.
that I can't deal with, that I can't understand and sympathize. And hopefully, I like to think that they walk away feeling a little bit better, and that if I can influence them at all with my positive vibes, that means the world to me. Yeah.
You're very inspirational. I always enjoy talking to this one because we hang out after work as well.
We do.
I always thought that by talking to you, it always made me feel I feel I benefit more from talking to you.
Stop it!
It was very inspirational to me. That I just love your energy and your vibe, and it's beyond positive. I think that when you say something, you truly mean it, and I think that's my most respect for you. For sure.
Oh, stop it. No.
How do you feel about the true element of sales though? Because sales is always very cutthroat, or tend to be more cutthroat, and then I tend to be more down to the bare bone skin of you see it as is, and some people want to sugarcoat it and so on. What's your view on this entire full 360?
The 360 approach I feel is almost the only way to do it. Now that I didn't have any experience in recruiting before this, but after coming in and seeing the full life cycle and the benefits that a full desk brings to you, I can't imagine it working any other way. The sales aspect, it's funny, I think that was another part of my interview. I'm looking at Gary now. That Gary made me really think about, I don't know how good you're going to do in sales. I feel that you almost come off as a pushover and, maybe too nice, and wanting to do right by everybody isn't always going to be, they don't know what's good for them. Yeah, sometimes. And so you have to be a very influential person and being able to understand what their real concerns are and address them. And, I kind of did a lot of self-reflecting, and I feel that this job's made me so much more of a well-rounded person, and understanding, what necessarily my flaws were and how to overcome them. And, it's brought so much insight, honestly, in my life, and being able to improve on areas that I knew were, concerns, but necessarily, not a bad thing, but just things that I could be better at, everyday interactions and overcoming everyday challenges. And sales in general definitely pushes you to that, but recruiting especially, just how much investment you put into candidates and clients emotionally, and then when you get that feedback and when you get those good moments, it means everything. And I feel like you don't get that with just everyday sales.
I agree. And there's so many elements to it, and it's really a people business that make things so special, for sure.
So I would say that I don't know that I would do good in any other sales. I think I would only do good now in recruiting sales. I would probably check myself out of any other sales.
So how competitive are you? in that nature?
Ooh, very, very.
How so? Did you play sports growing up?
I did. I played softball, so I was a little shortstop. But I definitely, the competitive nature has always kind of been a part of me, and just wanting, I guess, that commitment again. I think just wanting to say that I can do something and not only do it, but overachieve it if at all possible. You know, it's not about getting the bare minimum, it's about going above and beyond what people expect of you. You know, I always kind of said I couldn't imagine myself not working in my life, because I love having that people depending on me and people you know, expecting something of me, and you know, to be able to deliver above and beyond that is something that really compels me. And it's not necessarily competitive nature as in, you know, Cerner's better than Epic, which we're about to prove. No, I think it's just understanding that, you know, what you're capable of, and really pushing yourself. And that's the, I guess, the competitiveness that I look at.
So how's ping pong playing all this?
I think Team Cerner is gonna take a win here today.
Shall we find out?
I think we should.
Okay. Anyone who's watching, who do you think is going to win? This is gonna be a battle against many different levels.
The EMRs, yeah, battle of the EMRs.
Jenny's gonna win.
What? There's
One vote for Virginia. What do you guys think? All right, we'll comment on this. Comment on Facebook. We're gonna have a go at it right now.
All right, there we go.
Whew. When was the last time we played? How long has it been?
It's been a couple weeks. Oh, geez.
We used to do all these together, and then it's been a little while since we actually really worked on this.
Yeah.
So we're gonna.
I think a couple weeks at least, maybe. Oh.
What do your shirts say?
Oh, Longhorns seniors.
Oh.
It's an old shirt. We had to pull out the. Yep, Cobb County. What up?
So we're gonna have a very minimum warm-up session to this. So while we're at it, anybody have any question, please do give us a call at 678-291-0081. Virginia, Dyer for Cerner, obviously me for everything else.
And I'm gonna be keeping score.
PING on this one? And
Yeah,
then we
PING.
will warm up.
Alright.
Ladies first. Hi.
Oh.
I gotta move back.
And we don't have ball boys today or ball girls. We're just gonna play through it. And
Alright, in your turn.
so how this is gonna work is we're just gonna rotate every 5 serves and then play to 1 game to 25 for now, and we'll see how this all goes, shall we? Let's go. Is it me?
Yep.
All right. Here we go. 0. 0-1.
Oh, wow. So do they
0-2.
What's your motivation?
1-2.
Just anyone's drink.
Oh, nice.
Oh, Pepsi?
Yeah.
Pepsi?
2-2.
Yeah.
2-3. Here we go.
Yeah.
2-4.
You're so good.
2-5.
Hey, where you get those shirts from? I like them.
Yeah, me too.
I can't remember. 3-5.
Keep distracting.
4-5.
Well,
4-5.
what I have right now. Virginia, what high school did you go to?
Cal High School.
5.
Whew. Why didn't I put my hair up?
5. Put your hair up. So 5-5. What are the votes right now online? We got 1 for Virginia.
Virginia, obviously.
We're gonna log into Facebook.
5. 5-6.
Yeah, I love that you put your hair back. I know, get serious.
5-7.
Should have done it a long time ago.
Net. 5-7. 5-8.
That's out for y'all, man.
Alright, thanks, Michael.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. What it, tell me what you're looking for.
6-8.
We already have this
Oh.
and that's
What was that? I don't know.
that's doing with your
8-7. Okay. 8. I hope people are still watching. 8.
This is where it's just getting good. Oh, man. Why are you even so aggressive?
9-8.
Oh, no. I was cut up.
8-10.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow. 9-10.
Oh.
11-9. Did they catch me saying that?
Down it.
11-10.
Yes.
11. 12-11. This is a lot closer than I thought it would be.
You thought you were just gonna wipe me out?
I thought the other way around. I haven't played for a while. 13-11.
Yeah, he's going to start off with the phone.
11-14. Yeah, 11-14. 12-14.
We need a water boy.
I know. Oh, water girl.
Oh.
12-15.
No breaks.
Thank you. 13-15. Ew.
So good.
14-15.
Ah.
Thank you. I was going to later, so that's fine. 14-15.
Oh.
16-14.
Now, what happened?
17-14.
That's good.
17-15.
Oh.
18-15. You guys see that face? Please pause it. 19-15.
Oh, you're worse. Hey, Greg.
You want to watch the rest of the contest? Check out Facebook right now.
20-15. 15-20. Match point.
Your direct phone number is given to you back in or
Yes.
20-16. Shall we make it best out of 3?
We should.
So during intermission, what's your thought on game 1?
Thirsty.
What's your thought on your commitment to the game?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I definitely tried. That's for sure.
What's the score? 21-17? 21-17 was the first game.
All right.
We'll play best out of 3,
I like that.
and then we'll see how this one goes. How are we doing on time? We're on.
Let's go.
21-17, game 2. All right, lady first. 0.
Woo.
0-1.
so she's going to send her.
0-2.
Look at it, because he's going to try to talk you out of it. She's like,
1-2. 2-2. 11-12. Thank you for my epic votes.
Yeah, epic team over here.
3-2.
Oh,
Yes!
no! What was that?
4-2. I feel like I'm out of breath already. Terrible fitness example. 4-2.
Terrible fitness. Oh! I see.
5-2. Here we go.
Oh.
Thank you. 6-2. 3-6. 6-3.
Yeah. Was that what you made it?
That's beautiful. 3-7. 4-7.
No, I meant
Like, look at her breath. I don't believe
5-7.
But she's not like, I mean, she's not really.
Sorry.
But
5-7. Sorry.
Oh, no.
4-8. 4-8.
and I know
it's over.
5-8.
I wanted to have a ping pong.
Oh, good thought. 6-8.
Good thought.
Good thought.
Yeah.
6-8. 8-7.
Who has 7? 8-7?
8-7.
It's okay. Make it 9-7.
9-7. We need a commentary.
All right, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, there you
She's
go.
too busy keeping score.
There you go.
Oh!
Oh!
10-7.
Kyan with the tricky move. Look at that.
10-7.
Okay.
I love how Kyan's playing with his whole body.
10-8.
He's really getting into it.
Nice.
10-8. 10-8.
Yes.
Oh, and the distraction happened for Kyan.
Keep it going, Melissa.
He is on benefit.
Oh, that was off.
Oh, man, Virginia.
9-11.
That was off. Virginia, step it up.
Right there. Right
Barely
there.
not. 9-12.
So who made the orange coordination happen today?
IT works.
IT works. Oh, you keep an orange team. Oh, this is a good match. Look at that. Back and forth. Oh, Virginia was unsuccessful in closing that ping pong deal.
We got it right.
Oh, look at that. Oh, a little bit too hard on the ping pong ball.
9-13.
Yeah.
No, 9-12.
9-12.
Yes.
Give yourself points.
Oh, look at that. Corner shot. Oh!
9-13. I called it.
9-13.
Yeah.
10-13.
11-13. Virginia's coming after Kyan, only 2 points down, 2 points away. Let's see how successful she can be. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh.
Just kidding.
It got heated. It got heated.
15-10 or 14-11?
14-11.
14-11.
Oh. Got to make it over.
14-12.
14-13. Virginia's only down by 1 point. What's gonna happen?
14-13.
What's gonna happen now? There you go. Oh,
14 off.
it is tied to 14. First one, 21. Oh! I think Kyan only really wanted to make it to 3 games because he really loves playing ping pong.
That's right.
15-14.
That's the real reason I think he wants to keep it 3. Technically, he could keep it at 2.
New game now, 15.
15? New game, who won 15? Who got 15? Oh, that's Virginia's point. Who had the 15?
16-15.
16. In the lead? 16-15. Virginia's in the lead.
16-15. Matt.
Oh, good one.
16-15.
16-15.
16 off.
16 up. Oh, look at that. Oh, Kyan Kyan wins the point.
16-17.
Oh, a little bit too hard. You gotta love the ping pong ball, Virginia. You gotta love it. You gotta hit it gently. Same goes to you.
17.
And you can. You gotta love the ping pong ball.
Yes.
Oh,
Nice spin. 18 off.
nope, 17.
18 off.
Really? I guess I need to pay attention more.
Oh, yes.
Oh, just missed it. 19-18. Kyan is up. Go. Go. Up, 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 up. Aw.
Go for that corner every
She
time.
tried to close it.
20-18.
Kyan is 1 point away.
Match point.
Match point for
20.
Kyan. Virginia coming in to try to steal the competition. Virginia
20-19.
coming in. Let's see.
Yes!
Kyan wins. Good job, Kyan.
Okay, good game.
You're so good. So Kyan won both games.
One word from the match. Your opinion.
Oh gosh. Oh,
Oh, look
No.
at the trophy.
I'd like to present you this trophy. You've done so well here.
Thank you to my ping pong partner. For all your Cerner needs, please contact
Me,
Virginia and
Virginia
her
Dyer.
team. Any shout out from your teammates?
Guys, y'all want to come play?
Please contact Christina Calzolari, Michael Fraser, Renee Andres, obviously Virginia Dyer. Thank you, Virginia.
Oh, thank you, Kyan.
Rub
So
my
excited.
belly. See you guys next
See
week.
you guys. Bye. Gosh, so glad.